You wake up anxious. Again, for no reason you can name. Your partner does something small, forgets to text back, speaks sharply, and suddenly you're flooded with a fear so intense it doesn't match the moment. Or you parent your children and hear your mother's words coming out of your mouth. The same harsh tone, the same impossible standards, the same wounds you swore you'd never pass on. And you wonder, why do I keep doing this? Why can't I just stop? Welcome to generational trauma, the invisible inheritance you never asked for, the pain that travels through bloodlines, the wounds that don't belong to you but live inside you anyway. Today we're exploring how trauma passes from generation to generation, and more importantly, how you can be the one who finally stops it. Real quick, if this topic matters to you, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and drop a comment. It helps YouTube show this to others who need to understand they're not alone in carrying pain that isn't theirs. Let me tell you what generational trauma actually is. Researchers studying Holocaust survivors' children discovered something startling. These children, who never experienced the Holocaust themselves, carried symptoms of their parents' trauma: anxiety, hypervigilance, attachment issues. The trauma had somehow traveled, not through stories, through something deeper. Generational trauma is trauma that isn't just experienced by one person, but extends from one generation to the next, transmitted through parenting styles, emotional responses, and even epigenetic changes. This trauma can lead to anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, difficulty processing emotions, and isolation, symptoms seen across multiple generations. You inherit more than eye color. You inherit fear patterns, coping mechanisms, beliefs about safety and love and worth. And here's the cruelest part. Children inherit maladaptive coping mechanisms: withdrawal, people-pleasing, substance misuse, aggression, as they model their parents' trauma responses. You become what you witnessed, even when you promised yourself you'd be different. Trauma transmission happens through learned behaviors, epigenetic changes that alter gene expression, and disrupted family dynamics that persist across generations. This isn't your fault, but it is your reality. And the question becomes, what do you do with an inheritance you never wanted? Here's how it shows up in your life. Many people become so accustomed to living with generational trauma that it becomes normalized, accepted as normal, when it's actually a symptom needing healing. You think, everyone's family is like this. Everyone struggles to trust. Everyone has these fears. But they don't. What feels normal to you is actually trauma dressed up as personality. The hypervigilance, the difficulty with intimacy, the self-sabotage, the rage that doesn't match the situation. Toxic family dynamics put constant strain on members, increasing risk of chronic pain, heart disease, diabetes, and unhealthy cycles like substance abuse. Your body keeps the score, even when your mind tries to forget. And your children? Parental trauma is associated with higher sensitivity to PTSD in children, creating relational, psychological, and neurobiological pathways of intergenerational influence. The cycle continues, unless someone stops it. Let me tell you how trauma travels so invisibly. Emotional patterns from intergenerational trauma manifest as deeply ingrained responses to stress, the unresolved issues of previous generations playing out in your nervous system. Your grandmother survived war. She learned hypervigilance, taught your mother to always expect danger. Your mother taught you, not through words, through her body, her reactions, the way she jumped at loud noises, the way she never fully relaxed. And now you do the same, scanning rooms for threats that aren't there, unable to feel safe even when you are. This is transmission, trauma traveling through bodies, not stories. Examples include lasting effects of war, systemic racism, or abuse rippling through families, seen in studies of Holocaust survivors' descendants, showing trauma's multigenerational impact. But here's what matters most: it can end. Recognizing and acknowledging generational trauma's presence is crucial. Understanding that trauma affected previous generations helps you make sense of your own experiences. This awareness is the first step toward healing. You have to see it to heal it. Look at your patterns, your triggers, your automatic responses. Ask, is this mine, or is this inherited? Breaking the cycle necessitates a comprehensive approach leveraging positive psychology principles, providing tangible pathways to healing and transformative self-discovery. The work is this. Therapy provides a safe space to explore intergenerational trauma's impact, helping you understand how it influenced behavior and relationships while offering strategies for breaking the cycle. Approaches like trauma-informed therapy, EMDR, and internal family systems are particularly effective. You learn to parent yourself differently than you were parented, to respond to your children differently than you were responded to. Timeline exploration and genograms help uncover family patterns, allowing you to write out or express your history visually, finding both trauma patterns and resilience. You map the pain, then you choose differently. Building healthy coping strategies, mindfulness, boundary setting, emotion regulation, self-compassion is essential for managing trauma's effects. Open communication about family trauma history, as experts like Mark Wolin suggest, helps break cycles by making the invisible visible. This doesn't mean blaming your parents. They were doing their best with what they had. The experiences of generations before you aren't your fault. The ways they affect you are valid, but you have power to stop the cycle. You can hold two truths. They didn't mean to hurt you, and you were still hurt. Both are real. Both matter. Here's what breaking the cycle actually looks like. It looks like recognizing your mother's voice in your head and choosing not to speak to yourself that way. It looks like feeling that old rage rising and pausing, breathing, responding instead of reacting. It looks like your child making a mistake and you comforting instead of criticizing. Small moments, conscious choices, different responses. Look for trauma-informed support. The conversation shouldn't be what's wrong with you, but what happened to you. You're not broken. You're carrying pain that predates you. And putting it down? That's the bravest thing you'll ever do. Taking steps to address your mental health is integral to healing wounds of the past and breaking the cycle so you don't pass trauma to the next generation. Let me be clear, this is hard work. Counseling work with generational trauma needs to be client-led, only going as far and deep as the client is comfortable. You can't rush this. Can't force it. Some days you'll choose differently. Some days the old patterns will win. That's okay. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for awareness, for choice. And slowly, the patterns loosen. The cycle weakens. Until one day you realize, I didn't react that way. I chose differently. And that choice? That's how generational trauma ends. Not with a bang. With 1,000 small decisions to be different than what you inherited. Here's what I want you to hear. If you're carrying generational trauma, you're not weak for struggling. You're strong for recognizing it. Generational trauma is complex, but it doesn't mean something is inherently wrong with you. It's a collection of traumas experienced by ancestors, passed down, affecting you today. You're battling something bigger than yourself. And you can win. You can be the ancestor your descendants thank. The one who said, the pain stops here. Families pass down both strengths and struggles. You can honor your past while choosing a healthier future. So here's my question for you. What pattern from your family are you determined to break? What pain will end with you? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you're fighting to change. And if this resonated, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment below. Help YouTube share this message with others carrying invisible inheritances. Together, we're breaking cycles that have lasted generations.